let's go, let's go.
Six Flags Over Texas, located in Arlington, Texas, is an amazing theme park containing lots of iconic attractions. From the one and only Shockwave to the world's first RMC New Texas Giant, they have a great portfolio of rides and attractions. The thing is, over the years, they have yet to receive their major addition and something that's truly special for Over Texas. And for the 2025 season, you have parks like Six Flags Great America receiving a huge new coaster, or Cedar Point receiving yet another new roller coaster. For the first Six Flags park, it starts to seem unlikely for a brand new massive attraction, but things might be starting to change. As of recently, some very interesting activity has been going on inside the park, including all new markers spotted in the Spain section of the park and increasing rumors of the removal of a possible beloved Over Texas ride. Essentially, for Over Texas, a lot is going on behind the scenes, and in today's video we're going to predict what exactly is going to happen in the park and what the potentials look like for a brand new ride. Before we get started though, if you're new here, welcome to the channel for all those thrill seekers. On JB Thrills, we got sorts of content related to theme parks and thrill rides no matter where they're located. And if you're specifically a Texas enthusiast, this is your #1 source of news for all Texas theme parks. So if that interests you, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to know when new videos drop on my channel. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Over the past years, Over Texas gained new opportunities for possible expansion and new additions. From the loss of Harley Quinn to the abandoned theaters sitting in the back waiting to be used. When it came to predictions, typically that's where I would place my bets for a brand new ride. There's plenty of space and it doesn't take out any existing attraction. But despite this, recently news came out and it's looking like Over Texas is taking a potentially different strategy. Just for some context, Reddit user Zoni's Coasters posted some images showcasing construction markers in the Spain area of the park, more specifically by El Diablo and Rancho de Pollo. The marker looks like 3 dots in a triangle form, and for the coaster enthusiast, you know what this possibly means. It's typically a good sign as the symbol represents surveying the area, aka checking out potential spots for a new construction project. While it could be any construction project, 9 out of 10 times it always refers to a new ride or coaster, meaning Six Flags Over Texas might be in for some exciting times. Now of course, some may say, well, it won't be a big project considering the markers are just by El Diablo. This might be the case, but you have to keep in mind that markers do move. In almost every construction update of a new attraction, the markers pop up more and more as more planning goes underway and the ride gets a confirmed location. Meaning this may just be the beginning, and this may just mean the entire Spain area is in for a whole new change, and what I believe to be a brand new coaster coming to the park in 2026. Kinda crazy how we went from markers to coasters already, but trust, let me explain. These markers seem like it could be anything, but their timing and location foreshadow and potentially affirm some previous rumors about Over Texas, including the major ones surrounding a Texas classic, La Vibora. Ever since the closure of another intimate bobsled at Great Escape, all eyes turn to Over Texas, as we have one of the few remaining intimate bobsled coasters left in the entire world, this being La Vibora. This nostalgic ride has been the attraction to help conquer our fears and encourage thrill seekers to take on bigger rides like Titan or Freeze, while also bringing a very unique experience you can only experience here at Over Texas. The thing is, things don't last forever. Over the years, the attraction has been known to be way more rougher than it was before, and while it's still very unique, no one wants to leave a coaster in pain. And sure, the coaster attracts lots of crowds as one of the more popular attractions in the entire park, but it may just seem that way. We also have to consider that La Vibora's capacity is very small, and this may be the reason the crowds are so big, as everyone's waiting in line for a low capacity attraction. As the park only gets more bigger in the future, attracting way more crowds, they're going to need coasters that have good capacity, and La Vibora is no longer cutting it. Of course, this may be potential reasons for a possible closure, but the nail in the coffin is that La Vibora just might reach its end very soon. Its service life will eventually run out and have the same fate as Great Escape's attraction. So clearly the park knows this and can't just close it down with nothing planned. If they move on to a different area leaving a huge vacant spot like Harley Quinn, they can't just fence it up and forget about it. This coaster is the first thing you see when walking into the park and ties in the entire Spain area. The area will look incomplete and unfinished, so many have started to predict a brand new coaster potentially replacing La Vibora very soon. The rumors don't stop there though. It's also been claimed that El Diablo, our huge Larson loop, is also on the chopping block as a factor of reasons from poor ridership to content malfunctions led the higher-ups to essentially be done with this ride. Now this one could seem a little far-fetched considering El Diablo opened in 2019, only 5 years of life. But it's also not shocking either as the current Six Flags trend is getting rid and gutting Larson's. Taking a step back, these rumors and theories support the idea that these new survey markers mean a new ride. But to establish the theory further, we're getting close to Over Texas' big year. And what I mean is that we're in a new era of Six Flags and Over Texas might start to go back on top. You might remember, but for those who don't, Six Flags and Cedar Fair merged corporations, now becoming one big company. And essentially the split between two companies is that Cedar Fair provides money and planning while Six Flags provides marketing and branding. In fact, 2024 has essentially been Cedar Fair surveying and checking all the Six Flags parks to see which one has the most potential. Park guests have spotted park leads walking around different parks, and internally Cedar Fair has been changing up some things with employment and different positions. Then of course we have August of this year, where we received a shocking announcement for a huge new dive coming to Great America, and a whole new intimate family coaster going to Six Flags New England. It's clear this wasn't Six Flags' doing, but rather Cedar Fair getting ready to invest in their new portfolio. They have lots of brand new parks to explore, and I have reason to believe that Over Texas is on the list of potential investments. Really quickly, here's why. Number 1, the Texas parks will profit in the upcoming years. Six Flags Fiesta Texas in San Antonio, Texas on its own brings in the most amount of profits for any Six Flags park, but Over Texas can get there as well. They used to be the leader in the past and they can surely do it again. Not to mention, as more and more people move to Texas, and more specifically North Texas, the wisest business decision is to invest more in Over Texas and prepare for all these new customers. So why not attract guests with brand new attractions? Number 2, focus on Over Texas with marketing. In any typical Six Flags commercial pre-merger, Six Flags showcases multiple of their parks and usually strays away from Over Texas, besides their own commercials. All of a sudden, post-merger, Over Texas has shown up in more TV spots or has been the center of attention, essentially foreshadowing that Over Texas' growing importance and might be a major player. Number 3, Cedar Fair has been foreshadowing it. In my last video, we talked about leaked survey options for Over Texas, and the options were not small ideas. One of them including a potential Giga coaster. So, for Cedar Fair to even consider this concept, clearly there's a new priority brewing for Over Texas. And I wouldn't be surprised if this has close ties to the current construction and surveys we're seeing in the Bay Area. Like I said before, they're going to invest in Texas parks, and I believe 2026 is the year that Over Texas will receive a huge new coaster. Why 2026? Well, if we're just seeing surveys right now, clearly it's not for 2025. They would have already been announcing this new coaster. They need plenty of time to get this right, and they don't want another Aquaman on their hands with lots of delays or cancellations like El Relento. We want an operating coaster that will open on time and truly reinstall the faith in our guests that we're going to have a brand new coaster for that operating season. So I definitely predicted the park will be very silent about this edition up until the very end of 2025 and announce a shocking announcement of a brand new coaster. So now that we know what's going on, why this might be a big addition, we now need to know what is this big addition. After all, it's a new ride prediction. So let's get to predicting. Now that we feel pretty confident it's going to be a new ride for Over Texas, the survey markers don't technically indicate what specifically it's going to be, but we can make some predictions. And it gives me 3 options: roller coaster, flat ride, or expansion. And in these 3 categories, I'm going to give a couple mini predictions in each of them. Starting of course with roller coaster. While the survey markers are next to El Diablo, it doesn't specifically mean El Diablo could bite the dust. Maybe it's a ride relocation, as Over Texas has done it before. But for La Vibora specifically, this one has the highest chance of leaving the park very soon, and it just makes sense for it to be gone by 2026. And that means new coaster, and that means my predictions have 3 options. Number 1, the safest bet, a B&M Giga dive. Just like in the survey, if this truly becomes an option, it would make sense here. While I do want to see it more in the stadium area, I wouldn't be opposed to a B&M Giga dive going right there, as it'll be a great sight to see when entering the park, and a Giga dive is different enough from being like Fiesta Texas. But its biggest con is being like Fiesta Texas. We need a truly iconic and new ride for Over Texas, not something that's very similar or a cloned attraction. Number 2 could be a multi-launch coaster. This we currently do not have it over Texas, and one that has special elements, inverts, or maybe even duals would be a great fit for this area. In my opinion, I want to see something like Alpine Fury at Canada's Wonderland, containing lots of inversions and racks in at crazy speeds. They have plenty of space to work with, and can make some really tight layouts, allowing for a pretty intense experience, but also enough for younger audiences to ride, just like Full Throttle or West Coast Racers at Magic Mountain. My biggest con is hopefully they theme it. If not, it'll just be a basic attraction, and it might not be 100% perfect if the capacity isn't the best. Although bonus points if they make this the fast coaster in Texas, because honestly we need that. But speaking of record breakers, number 3 we have a regular B&M Giga. Of course, many will say this is like Titan, but I strongly disagree. The difference between Titan and a B&M Giga is that a B&M Giga like Fury 3205 at Carowinds brings in crazy airtime. Plus, this is the perfect space to install one. It's been rumored for a while now that if a Giga goes there, it'll cover the entire length of the picnic area in the park and the little gas station area in the parking lot, meaning lots of room for a long drawn out layout with tight turns, lots of speed, and of course, airtime. Not to mention, the survey markers might align with it, as we all know Giga coasters kind of end far away from the station and have that little U-turn into the station. Maybe it's similar to Fury 325. The coaster ends over the Spain sign and makes a little U-turn in El Diablo's direction to go back to the current station La Vibora. It makes sense. Not to mention, this Giga would make it the new tallest coaster in Texas, and we absolutely need this as Titan has been the tallest coaster in Texas for the longest time. Imagine the marketing potential having the top 2 tallest coasters in one park. Sounds pretty good. My next category is Flat Ride, which is honestly my least favorite prediction, but maybe it is just El Diablo leaving, and if that's the case, obviously a new Flat Ride is going to replace the area. But honestly, I put this here as a segue to the last category, being expansion. Essentially, this is my prediction, and the one I totally believe the most. The Spain and Mexico area is a pretty good area of the park, pretty underrated and has pretty great theming, but it could be better. And I believe and I predict that in 2026, along with the huge new coaster replacing La Vibora, being any of those 3 options that I listed, the entire Spain area will receive a brand new transformation with high quality theming. In almost all the surveys Six Flags put that they wanted to have high quality theming. If that's the case, this is the perfect way to transform the entire Spain-Mexico area and make it look fresh. El Diablo could be taken out for a brand new flat ride. The specific one doesn't matter, but essentially we'll have a brand new flat ride, a brand new major coaster, and refurbishments of all our favorite attractions like Conquistador, the Teacups, and El Sombrero. Maybe even reopening Casa Magnetica, and of course make the log flumes look great. Maybe even with more theming. This would be a super expensive investment, but the reward will be really great, as it'll truly transform over Texas. And knowing Cedar Fair, they could possibly do it. The survey markers are everywhere, but they could be everywhere because it's going to affect everything. And that's why I believe this is very possible. End result, we essentially made all these predictions just from some survey markers. And obviously we're going to have to wait for some more updates to potentially get a clearer prediction and idea of what's maybe or maybe not coming to over Texas. So of course, take everything I say with a grain of salt, but if you have a prediction, let me know by commenting down below. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. And if you want to stay updated on all updates for over Texas and be the first to know if anything else is coming to the park or any announcement, be sure to like button and subscribe and tap the notification bell to be ready. And special thanks to all my current subscribers and viewers, as y'all mean a lot to me, more than you think. I appreciate all y'all's patience, and we'll soon be getting to more consistent scheduling so I can get y'all weekly uploads. Once again, thank you. And with that, thank you for watching. This is JB Thrills signing out.